Hello everyone, it's Mike back with a fan cam discussing Friday night's game between Leeds and West Ham, where it finished Leeds 2, West Ham 1, and another loss. It's getting difficult to do these, I think, losing enthusiasm for it. Not for this, just for West Ham. I think they're kicking the soul out of loving West Ham at the moment. So yeah, another loss. It's been a couple of games where I feel like we've lost an opportunity to really get some points. Brentford was there to get some points, and Leeds was there to get some points. Although Elland Road is a tough place to go, they're not. These two teams aren't there at the top of the league, playing amazing football, and you don't think you've got a chance of getting anything out of it. There was opportunities to get something out of both games and we didn't take it. And really, if you look at the face of it, that starts with the lineup. Brentford was strange at best, and last night weren't much better, was it? So before the game, I was, I'm always excited about watching West Ham. Yeah, I love watching West Ham. And I'd been looking, even though we lost against Brentford and the game was awful, I thought, well, come on, let's have another go Friday and get ready to watch the game. And I was excited about watching the game until the lineup came out. And I just thought, oh, God's sake, what is he doing? Look, it was great. It was good to see Wan-Bissaka and Juve come back into the team. I think they were missed against Brentford starting the game. Look, Juve has his limitations in defence, but he's a young lad, and the more games he plays, the more experience he gets. So he's only going to get better, because going forward, he is good. He's going to have games where he's not so good, but he will get better. But I was pleased to see him back in. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka, I think, is a great footballer, and I really love having him in the team. So, the club, to be fair. So yeah, I was pleased to see those two back in. Scarles, I love seeing the youth come through, and Scarles playing. It's not like I don't want him to play, but if he's going to play, he needs to play in the position that he's been trained to play in it through being a child, coached, and we all looked at it, I think, and we all sort of thought, hang on, are you playing right back or something like that? Because his name was right behind Areola on the team sheet. So that was a bit worrying. And I think everyone was trying to guess where it would be, where he would be, sorry. And obviously midfield had Souček and Irving in there again. And it didn't work against Brentford. And I don't know why Nuno thought he was going to work against Leeds. I don't see what he thought in it, but I get he probably doesn't understand what his first 11 is, and he's trying things out. I guess you've got to give him a bit of leeway for that. So as soon as the line came out, like I say, I was a bit depressed about it, if I'm honest. I just thought, oh, not this again. Goodness me. And then, the same old thing with Paquetá up front. So yeah, not great really, but game kicked off, and it was much of the same really, much of the same as last week. Well, to be fair, we started the game last week quite well. We didn't start the game this week. Oh, sorry, Friday and Monday. We didn't start the game Friday very well, because within a few minutes we'd conceded again. Atrocious defending again. It just diabolical. You look at the two goals, and they're just awful defending. We just can't defend. It's just diabolical. I honestly can't remember which way around they were now. I think I'm trying to blank them out. But the goal where, the first goal was Scarles, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Scarles, look, felt really bad for him going off injured. Poor lad. He's had his own injury concerns previously, coming up through the youth. So you don't want him to be injured. We don't want anyone to be injured, really. But that looked a nasty little... I think that was a dislocation or something. It certainly looked like it, or cracked a bone or something. But anyway, before that, obviously, ball comes over to the back post. And, Scarles is playing right. He's playing right back or right wing back or whatever formation was being played at the time. Difficult to work out at some points. But whether you're playing left back, right back or whatever, you got to get goal side. And he was nowhere to be seen. The lad absolutely lost him. I mean, that was just really poor defending from Scarles. And, the ball comes back in and Areola makes a good save. And we just don't react. I think people blaming Wan-Bissaka for not moving. I honestly thought, to me, it looked like he was looking at Todibo and thinking he's going to get rid of that. And I think he was trying to stand still so he didn't get in the way of maybe like the ball ricocheting off him and going back in the goal. That's the kind of way I looked at it anyway. But Todibo, again, not strong enough, not quick enough to react. And the goal's not all on him, but, it shouldn't have got there in the first place. But poor. They just set the tone for the rest of the game, really. And obviously, I don't know what it was, 10, 15 minutes after that, Scarles goes off, injured. Apparently, they were going to bring Wilson on anyway, which was, we were crying out for a striker. If you can hear something, by the way, it's Bo chewing his bone. So apologies for that. Look, it was good to see a striker come on. I don't think he did much, but I think he provided more just being a striker playing in a striker's position than Paqueta was being a midfielder playing in a striker's position, if you know what I mean. So I think it helped a bit, but it didn't change anything because obviously the second goal went in and poor defending yet again. Corner yet again. Ball comes over. Actually, no, Scarles was still on the pitch. Yeah, sorry. Scarles was still on the pitch at this point because if you watch the goal back again, I think at first instance, I don't know if they've got set. I don't know what Nuno's up to. I don't know if he's got set people and set players, but the Welsh lad, just about as the ball was going to be kicked and he starts making his run, it looked like Scarles was on him and looked like Paqueta said to Scarles, you go over there, I'll mark him. And then he just rolled him, just come round on him. Paqueta just let him go. Poor. But even in between that, because it's a combination of errors. It's not just one person. It is a combination of errors. He rolls Paqueta, runs round him. He just loses him, doesn't get involved. And then Max Kilman, Todibo are there, and they are poor yet again. I don't want to dig people out, but you've got to call it as it is. And they're poor. They're the ones, they're doing the zonal marking. They should just be getting rid of the ball. And they completely both miss the ball. And it's an easy finish, easy Sunday League finish. Terrible. So 2-0 down, aren't we? And yeah, then the swap happens. Sorry, my brain's not functioning quite right today. I think depression's getting to me. 2-0 down, and just with a whimper as well, just pathetic, absolutely pathetic. I'll say the changes made and Callum Wilson. I don't think he did loads, but I think it showed a difference of him being in a striker's position, playing as a striker, regardless of whether he's made a good contribution or not. I think he's doing more than what Paqueta was doing. So that's the way I saw that. So going 2-0 down, I'm thinking, come on, make some changes. Get Irving off the pitch, for Christ's sake. Get him off the pitch. Souček, again, love the guy. He's been a great servant to us, but he has not got it. Or if you're going to play him, you've got to play him with some legs around him. You cannot have two slow pedestrian midfielders in the centre midfield because it is appalling. There was one point, I can't remember the lad. he just walked through the defence. And see Irving. I mean, if that's Irving sprinting, Christ, I'm faster than him. I'm 46. And when I was young, I wasn't fast. Never. He's so slow. You know, the guy's jogged around him with the ball. I mean, it stands to reason that if you are travelling with the ball, you can run faster without the ball. So, you know, someone who's quicker than you, surely you should at least be able to keep up with them. I didn't see him sprint. I didn't see him bust a gut. I don't think I saw anyone bust a gut. I think Bowen really put some effort in yesterday, and I think I keep saying Sullivan, for Christ's sake. Honestly, hello. Somerville was, put some good sprints in and put himself about a bit. But the centre midfield is diabolical. And, you know, when you look at the defence, when we're having a go at Todibo and Max Kilman, who were crap again, they do need a bit of defence. Look, corners, it's on them. If it goes into their area, it's on them. So that aside, they do need some help in front of them. And Souček and Irving are not supplying that in any way, shape or form. Nothing. It's absolutely pathetic. They might as well have toilet paper as protection. It's just gets wet and it's done. So, really, really, really bad midfield. Piquet, I thought Piquet just winds me out. Just winds me out. Just honestly. I don't know if he needs better things around him or what, but I'd get him off the pitch. I just don't see the point in having him on the pitch at all. But no changes made at half time, which just, you know, you're looking at it. I'm watching the game and I'm not fully immersed in it. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting distracted by other things because I'm bored of this crap. We've had this. How long have we had this for now? You know, Moyes' last season the football was pretty bad and we were getting slapped. It started in the Conference League win season, didn't it? Really. You know, great win and we all loved that. But the league football was starting to taper off quite a bit. And we had a few slap-ins that season. That continued into the Moyes' last season. And then it's got progressively worse from there. You know, Lopetegui, God, we got some thumpings under him, didn't we? And then Potter come in and shored the ship up a little bit. And then he got slapped. And we got Nuno in. All right, we haven't lost by, 2 goals is the most we've lost by under Nuno, which might have been worse. Might have been worse under Potter or Lopetegui. But the football's dire and it doesn't inspire anything. It doesn't make anybody want to go and watch the match. I mean, at the moment, we're approaching winter, aren't we? It certainly feels like it at the moment. And does anybody want to go and stay in a windy bowl stadium and watch West Ham pay a load of money, watch West Ham just get absolutely tonked all over the park? Not really. Not really. I'm going up for Newcastle and Burnley, pre-arranged games, and I'm not really looking forward to it. What a shame. What a shame. I'm going to take 2 of my kids on to Newcastle as well, which is that's not very good. Not very good parenting, is it? But we plod through the second half and a couple of glimpses. I see Bowen putting himself about a bit and really getting stuck in, as he should, but he's still not approaching the ref enough for me and, fighting for the cause of the club in individual situations, which is a shame. Love the guy, great player. Needs to up his game being a captain, I think. But we did make some subs, after Wilson, obviously, in the first half. But we did make some subs, and guess what? We got better. What are the chances? Potts came on. I thought he was head and shoulders above everybody else that played in the middle of the park. He was flawless, I thought. I really did. Put himself about a bit, played some really good passes, started to dictate play more, pushed Leeds back. I know they might have been retreating anyway because as far as they was concerned, job was done for them. But Potts started to push them back, and we had a really good spell of possession at one point. We'd had the ball for quite a while and pressing them back, and Potts had something to do with that. I'm sure of it. So I thought he played really well. Fernandez came on and showed some athleticism, getting around the pitch again, and we just looked so much less pedestrian, and they made a difference. I don't know that I would have put Fernandez next to Potts, which I think that was where he was playing. I think personally, and this is really what I want to say, I would be sticking Magassa and Potts in the middle of the park together. Potts has got a bit more of an idea of what it is to play for West Ham because he's grown up with it, and his dad, played 500 odd games for us. He gets it a little bit more. I know he hasn't. I know he's not a man as such, but I think he's 22 or something. He's old enough to be able to take some responsibility, I think, in the same way that Declan Rice did. Ability-wise, he shows signs of being a good player, but you need to run in the team to see that improve. So I would really like to see Magassa and Potts play. I think Magassa showed some. He just looks so composed. Again, got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, but the composure's there. He's not panicking and puts himself about. Gets stuck in. So yeah, they made a difference. I mean, I know Magassa come on towards the end, but I still think he showed some good signs. But I think Potts made a big difference. Fernandez made a big difference, and of course Fernandez got the goal when that man again, innit? I mean, we can complain like I just have about Bowen not being the captain we think he should be, perhaps, but how many goals have something to do with Jarrod Bowen? Yet again, spots him in the middle. Fernandez makes a really good run. He curls the ball in, just a little flick over, and it's a decent finish, and it's a good assist for Bowen. So we end up 2-1, and I know we could have scored earlier than that in the first half with Paqueta when he was offside. But look, unless the ball comes off the Leeds player, it ain't offside, is it? And it was clear offside. So a great finish. He finished that really well with his left foot, but it wasn't. It was a fair chalk off for offside. We've got no complaints there. But look, yeah. So we managed to make it 2-1, and it was a good finish. It was a good finish to the game. And it just goes to show that his background. It just goes to show that he's off. That with the right players on the pitch, you can get a better result. I really hope we've seen the end of Souček and Irving in the midfield. Really, really hope that. Obviously, we're not going to see Scarles for a minute, unfortunately. For him, because I should imagine he's injured and going to be injured for a little while, which is a worry because obviously in January we've lost Wan-Bissaka and Diouf, and whether they're playing well or not, I thought Wan-Bissaka played well yesterday. By the way, I thought he was chucking himself about a bit, making busting runs down the left when he was on the left, on the right when he was on the right. Well, they're going to be big misses, and Cole Walker-Peters again. He came on yesterday, didn't he? Cole Walker-Peters is decent. I think he's all right. I think he's a decent understudy to Wan-Bissaka, but he is an understudy. He's not as good as Wan-Bissaka, but the level doesn't drop off too much, but it does drop off. But look, we're going to be all right side, unless someone gets injured. But left side, if Scarles isn't going to play because he's injured, we are deep in the poop for January. When they go to the African Cup of Nations, yeah, we got to think about that. Really think about that. So, yeah, disappointing, demoralising. These are words I use quite a lot recently. And like I say, it's hard to talk about West Ham at the moment because they are depressing. Really, really bad. But we go on to Newcastle next weekend, and I shall get up for the game eventually. And all I can do is hope that he picks the a side that we need him to play. So I really want to see Potts in there. If he hasn't done enough in that game that we just played against Leeds to show that he should be starting in midfield, I don't know what else he can do, because it was night and day. Night and day. So yeah, Newcastle coming up. Let's hope for the best. Thanks for listening. Sorry to moan yet again. Maybe we can get a shock result against Newcastle and start building it. I still have faith he can do something. There are enough games left. I think if he can get the togetherness together in the squad and get the first teamers who can't perform anymore out, and the people that should be in the first team who can perform in, we've still got a chance. We've still got a chance. It's diabolical at the moment, but we've still got a chance. So again, thanks for listening. Sorry for a moan-a-thon again. If you've liked it, please drop a like on the video for us. It really makes a difference. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for Gonzo. If you want to drop some hype on it, that would be really appreciated. And hopefully we'll see you soon in a position where we've actually won a game or got some points. Who knows? Anyway, come on, you Irons. Let's have it.